Welcome to a word of hope. Today's July 8th in the 13th week of Ordinary Time. I'm Brother Edward coming to you from Madison, Wisconsin. In today's Gospel, we read about Jesus having a dinner with his disciples, and he is being criticized for this by the Pharisees, because the Pharisees are people who regularly fast to show their righteousness. And here we have the disciples having a great time with Jesus, and if you will, kind of a laxity, if you will, in their perception. But Jesus responds to their criticism by saying, there will be a time when the disciples fast when I'm no longer with them, but now I am here. I am fully present. I am God with them. And so they cannot fast because it's just a wonderful experience to be in the presence of God and be in relationship with God through Jesus. So we know that the Jewish people have a long history of fasting. If we read that through the Bible, it's most often associated with sins that they have committed, and they're doing repentance by fasting to showing their sorrow. But there's other times when we see people fasting. I think of David when his son Absalom dies, that he is in a state of grief. And so he withdraws, and he doesn't want to go out to dinners and associate with people. He wants to be alone in grief. And I think this is the grief that Jesus is pointing us to, that as Christians, periodically, we deny ourselves legitimate pleasures to create, if you will, an absence or a want within us, a hunger, if you will. And that hunger, I believe, is a hunger for heaven. We're longing to be in the full presence of Jesus as he was with those disciples at that meal. Today we live in the partial presence of Christ in the world. We are in that in-between time when we wait for his second coming. And one way to remind us of that absence is to take on a little penitential fasting once in a while, just to say, yes, life is good, but not perfect yet, not until I am in the grace of God. So today, when we read the gospel, realize that there isn't a legitimate place for celebration and meals. There's a saying in Bohemia in the 16th century, they say, only a heretic fast on a feast day. That is someone who doesn't believe in Christmas or Easter or those wonderful feasts of the saints. Those people are denying the good that was there, so they fast on a feast day. But we as Christians, we celebrate and we feast on the great occasions of Christ's life. But we also have a time when we can say no to legitimate pleasures because we long for Christ. We are hungry for heaven.